Hi there. Hope you are fine and thank you for clicking. Today I am going to explain a South Korean superhit movie, Castaway on the Moon. At the beginning of the movie, the beautiful South Korean city, Seoul is shown. A man with a tense face is seen talking on a phone with a private loan company. He is being told that he owes more than $2 lakh to the company. He becomes more and more depressed, as clearly seen on his face. His tension reaches a point where he decides to end his life. So, he jumps into the river. In the next scene, he is shown washed ashore on the beach, senseless. On recovering his senses, he is frustrated as his suicide attempt is unsuccessful. So, he decides to jump from the 63 building and so, he has to go back to the city. He looks for a way to the city, but he discovers that he is on a river island below a bridge, and there is no any land route to the city. He wakes up the next day, when he hears a honking ship, and he runs towards it. He screams and waves his hand for help. One man sees him, but is unable to hear anything. The man on the ship misinterprets and waves goodbye, leaving him in rage. He realizes that he is a castaway, meaning he is left alone on the island without any means to get out. With a stick, he writes, "Help" on the sand. He then assembles his phone and calls 911, but 911 ignores him, suggesting to get out of the island by himself. He then calls his girlfriend, but his girlfriend hangs up by saying that she is over him. Then a telecom company calls him, revealing his name as Kim Song-gun, and tells about some offers on behalf of the company. Kim requested for helping him to get out of the island, but he is ignored once again. He then tries to cross the Han River in spite of him not knowing to swim. He gets drowned, and during his drowning moments he reminds some negative instances of his life, like he is scolded by his father of not knowing to swim, job interviewer not satisfied with him, his girlfriend dumping him, and loan company luring for loan offers. He then goes back to the beach and tries to hang himself when he hears a loud siren of the Civil Defense Corps. Then he feels the urge to poop and immediately goes to poop in the jungle. While pooping, he comes across salvia flowers and starts sipping its sweet nectar. He gets emotional and starts crying, with mucus dripping from the nose and mouth. Now he feels that it is worthless going to the city, as his life won't change for better. After some time, he thinks that maybe he could die later on. Then he drinks the river water and yells that the water is great. His facial expressions clearly depicts his high level of frustration and his unstable mind. Without even caring the dangers it could pose, he eats wild mushrooms. He tries lighting a fire with a stick, but realizes that it doesn't work, and then lights a cigarette with his lighter. At night, he checks his social security card along with the other cards he posses, which were now of no use. He gets up, and facing the city, he opens his pants and screams that he is living fine in the island without the use of those damn cards. The next day, he collects thrash items from the beach where he finds a detergent. He finds a duck boat. He relieves himself by saying that, finally, he got a house after saving money for the last 7 years. He decides to shelter inside the duck boat. To satisfy his hunger, he tries to catch fish and birds, but fails. He continues consuming wild mushrooms. He tries to climb a tree for eggs, but it's hard. He goes for fishing again, but fails again. This time with full effort, he climbs the tree but ends up in having birds poop on his face. With the detergent he found, he washes his hair, during which he sees a dead fish floating on the polluted water. He roasts the fish and eats it. Later on, a pigeon eats the leftover fish. In the morning, Kim sees the dead pigeon, which died probably because of eating the contaminated fish. He roasts the dead pigeon and enjoys biting. In the next scene, he is shown laying on the grass, where he is seen smiling for the first time on the island. This shows that he is starting to cherish the life he is living on the island. The next scene shows a girl with scar marks on her forehead, working on a computer. She is browsing a social media site, where she is visiting others' profile. She finds a profile with beautiful slippers and re-uploads it in her own profile by falsely posting that she owns the slippers. Then she downloads another girl's pretty skirt and dressed it on her own photo, making herself look pretty. She even edited her face by putting somebody else's face on her profile photo. Her fake profile receives numerous positive and admiring comments. She lives inside the social media, where her fake profile has become her reality. Whatever looks, age, or job she desires, she achieves it by editing her photos and posting fake claims on her profile. She has decided to spend her life inside the four walls of the room. She hasn't gone out of her room for the last 3 years. All the thrash generated after consumption for the last 3 years are kept in her room, just like a dustbin. Her room is locked from inside, and she doesn't allow anyone to enter inside. If she requires anything, she messages it to her mother. Every day her mother leaves her meal in front of her door, and she eats. She follows a strict routine daily. She wakes up on time, then eats, which follows jogging, and then starts her computer work at 9 a.m. She goes to the bathroom after 12, and then takes her lunch. After finishing her work, she starts her hobby of taking photographs of Moon. She takes photos of Moon because there is no one living there. According to her, when there's no one, you can't feel lonely. Then she puts on the last steps on the pedometer because it makes her feel that she had a busy and good day. She then watches a hypnotizing video before falling asleep. She eagerly waits for the Civil Defense Corps training, which takes place 2 times a year. During the training, people of the city are trained to prepare for any air attack by the enemy. All the vehicles and people freezes for 20 minutes, and most of the city becomes empty. She loves to watch and take pictures of this moment because the city looks like the moon without any humans. She feels less amount of gravity just like being on the moon and enjoys the feeling of becoming lighter. While she was watching the city and the island, she notices the "help" message written on the sand, and then Kim trying to hang himself. She is shocked and immediately closes the curtain. She couldn't sleep during the night, and so she checks again. She finds Kim alive and shouting with his pants open. She thinks him to be a freak. The next day, she takes photos of Kim and hangs on her wall. She notices that "help" has changed to "hello." Kim spends time playing golf with an iron rod. He then sees a ship approaching towards him, but he hides. He seems no more interested in leaving the island. He then accidentally steps upon a packet of black bean noodles, inside which he finds only one small flavor packet. He suddenly develops craving for black bean noodles. He collects a variety of wild grasses and fruits and uses as ingredients to prepare noodle. But after many trials, he couldn't prepare it. His craving for noodles grows, and he starts recalling his past, when he used to ignore black bean noodles and he regrets it. Suddenly an idea pops up in his mind. Birds consume seeds but many times can't digest it, after which these seeds comes out along with poops. So, there has to be wheat seeds in these poops. Now, Kim decides to grow wheat from these seeds. So, he collects the poops with his credit card and makes fun of the credit card being used for unusual purpose. He then starts digging the ground. Due to hard surface filled with stones, he makes slippers out of plastic bottles. He uses his own poop as fertilizer. He works hard. Suddenly, he starts licking his sweat. On finding it salty, he enjoys licking as he hasn't tasted salt since he is on the island. He makes a scarecrow out of his jacket. He successfully finishes burying the poops. All he can do now is hope for wheat to grow. The girl develops a habit of watching every activities of Kim, and she now knows everything Kim does. She desires to go down and meet him. She wants to reply to Kim's message. So, she decides to send Kim a message. She inserts a note into a bottle and steps out of her room. She puts a mini robot in the elevator and uses it to distract the guard. Then she goes to the bridge above the island and throws the bottle hoping to be discovered by Kim. Kim has learned to survive on the island. He now knows how to catch fish and how to climb trees for eggs. He enjoys cooking, and he has collected the things required for his survival. He stores his sweat in a bottle because of its salty taste, and which he sprinkles on his food. One day, he becomes excited on seeing a sprout in his field. Later on, he finds the girl's bottle and finds the message, "Hello." He correctly guesses that the message is for him. On being aware that someone is watching him, he wears his pants to cover his body. He also doubts his guess and thinks that maybe he has become a freak or psycho. In order to reply to the girl's message, he writes, "How are you?" on the sand. The girl is pleased to see Kim's reply finally after 3 months of her message. She replies back to Kim. Kim also replies back. He is very happy to have a pen pal without actually knowing the person. He then suddenly sees a plant inside the scarecrow. On removing it, he sees a corn plant with tender corn fruit. He gets excited as he can finally make noodles from the corn. The girl calls a delivery man to deliver black bean noodles to Kim by giving some extra money. The delivery man then delivers black bean noodles to Kim, informing that a woman has sent her. Kim asks about the looks of the woman, but the delivery man himself haven't seen. Kim returns the noodles by saying something to the man. The delivery man returns back. He returns the noodles to the girl. When the girl inquires about what Kim said, the delivery man said that a bowl of black bean noodles is hope for him. She is impressed by the fact that, for the first time, she has seen a man with so much hope that he is desperate to achieve his goal of a bowl of noodle. She now wants to be like Kim, and so she asks her mother to bring some corn seeds so that she can grow it. After hearing this from her daughter, her mother seems very surprised and pleased with her eyes about to cry. The next scene shows Kim having some fun and the girl smiling and enjoying. Kim harvests the corn and makes flour out of it. He then cuts noodles and cooks it. He mixes fresh vegetables and egg, and now his noodle is ready. He eats the noodles with utmost satisfaction. All his hard work have finally bear fruits. His face is filled with the emotion that only a person like him can fully understand. The girl, after noticing Kim's success, congratulated him. Her way of thinking is slowly changing. She moves out of her tiny closet bedroom and starts sleeping in the much larger space, which means she is now trying to break her solitary attitude and become social and extrovert. In the next scene, Kim is imagining talking to his pen pal. Maybe he is wishing to meet the girl. The girl's corn is slowly growing, and she takes care of it. Kim questions about who the girl actually is. Then, the girl prints the photo of her fake social media profile and prepares to send it to Kim. But as she is about to throw the bottle with the photo inside it, she resists throwing. Kim searches for the bottle with the message, but couldn't find. He then asks why no any message was sent. The girl then starts her computer and checks the comments in her fake profile. She discovers that people have revealed her fake identity. Many have scolded her and questioned her real identity. On seeing the negative comments, she gets emotional and turns off the computer. Kim is desperate to get a message from the girl. Then, rain starts following which a strong storm arrives. The place where Kim lives is flooded and everything messed up. His vegetable farm is destroyed, and the duck house is swept away with water. The next day, the girl checks Kim and finds him sitting hopeless. She is relieved as she finds him alive. All his vegetables and belongings are messed up, lying scattered here and there. He is demoralized and angry. He shows his anger and frustration by writing a message, hoping that the girl is watching him. Meanwhile, workers arrive to clean the trash on the devastated island. They tell Kim that no one is allowed to stay on the island. Then Kim runs to escape and is chased by the workers. He tries hard to escape, but after some effort he is caught. Kim utters that this land belongs to him and he should be allowed to stay. The workers describes the land as a conservation area and that it is restricted to the public. Kim is taken to the lifeboat. He looks towards the city, hoping to be seen by the girl, with his eyes clearly longing for help. After watching all this, The girl becomes desperate to leave her room and go to meet Kim. After few moments of hesitation, she finally steps out of her room, running out in the streets. She can't really miss Kim and must find him now, or otherwise maybe she will miss him forever. Kim is left alone by the workers. The girl finds Kim's shoe and starts looking for him nearby. After some search, finally she sees Kim at a distance not very far. Kim now wants to go to 63 building. Maybe he wants to attempt a suicide. After confirming that the bus will go to 63 building, he gets into the bus. The bus starts moving, with the girl running behind to catch the bus. Kim is heartbroken, firstly because he has to leave the island. Secondly, he didn't get any message from the girl and doesn't know where she lives. As the bus catches speed, the girl misses it. Now, she is filled with extreme despair. Suddenly, the siren for the Civil Defense Corps training is heard. As all the vehicles has to stop during the training, this is the chance for the girl to meet Kim. Filled with hope and excitement, she runs to find the bus. Then finally she gets into the bus and advances towards Kim. At first sight, Kim doesn't identify her. She then introduces her name as Kim Young-yeon, after which she questions him about who he is. She gives a gentle smile, and without taking much time, Kim identifies her. The defense training stops, and the bus starts to move again. He holds and saves her from falling, and their eyes meet. The movie ends with this scene. Now let me explain what I think about this movie. This movie is very beautifully presented and is truly a masterpiece. The main message is that we should never lose hope, no matter what challenges comes in our way. What seems impossible can be made possible. Kim regenerates from a collapsed human to someone who can significantly inspire others for good. Firstly, Kim came up with his innovative idea of growing seeds from bird poops. Then he digs the most infertile soil unfit for cultivation, which are filled with hard pebbles and rocks. He creates slippers out of plastic bottles to make himself comfortable on the hard surface. He didn't have the comfort to purchase resources, but he uses the only resources available to make his dream come true. The message is clear. If you want to achieve something in your life, then dedicate yourself, work hard. Use your creativity and innovation until you reach your goal. Even in the darkest moments, there is always the potential for a fresh start and a brighter future. This movie also shows that despite the challenges in our life, we can find little moments of joy and inspiration which can help keep moving our life. This movie also tells us that technology is changing our lives, making people addicted to social media and many times forgetting to draw the line between reality and fiction. It also tells about the levels of pollution in water bodies and the importance of conserving our biodiversity. In some instances, the movie leaves room for viewers to draw their own conclusions, like, it doesn't explain why the girl decided to live a life locked inside her room without physically stepping outside. Maybe the scar on her forehead can explain. The ending of the movie is also open for interpretation. I think they start a new married life and lived happily. Thank you for watching and subscribe for more upcoming videos. Hope you have a good time and take care.